Hello and welcome to the Football New South Wales Community Podcast. This is episode 2 of our 6-part Extra Time series recorded at our 2024 Football New South Wales Coaching Conference. If you want to hear more of what it's all about, skip back to episode 1 for a brief introduction as well as an interview with Sean Douglas. In episode 2, we hear from Olyroos goalkeeping coach Neil Tate, covering 3 key tips to support your goalkeeper. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Extra Time podcast. My name is Gareth Long. Sat currently finding some shade under the marquee at Valentine Sports Park at the Football New South Wales Coaching Conference. Pleasure to be joined by Neil Tate. Neil is the Olyroos goalkeeper coach and coach educator for Football Australia, designing, delivering many of the goalkeeper coach education courses that are available. Now, we have a challenge. We've got a maximum of 20 minutes to explore 3 tips to support your goalkeeper. So you up for the challenge, Neil?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, good stuff. Well, look, you've already worked hard this morning, and I think you've got about another 6 or 7 sessions over this weekend. So thank you for your time, and I'm going to try and pick your brain. I was actually quite scared of this because my grassroots team, we've never had a goalkeeper until this season. So I've never had to worry about this other than who's going to go in goal this week. So I've actually had to start thinking about some of these things that we're going to explore. So I wonder if you could start us off by sort of giving us an overview of kind of the unique attributes of goalkeepers.
So goalkeepers is obviously it's a difficult position because the goalkeeper could often feel isolated. They're on their own. So firstly, the psychological parts of a goalkeeper are massively important. They've got to be able to accept that what they do is different to everyone else on the pitch, and they've got to be resilient. They have to be able to adapt to different situations, and they have to be able to realise that they're always not going to get the same amount of sort of glory or attention as what the strikers or some of the other players on the pitch do. So firstly, I think the psychological part of being a goalkeeper is probably the biggest challenge for them. The other areas of goalkeeping that are important is obviously the technical aspect. When young players first start playing in goal, they just want to keep the ball out of the net, just make saves. But as they develop and they come into their junior and youth levels, they will learn techniques. So the technical aspect of a goalkeeper is important, often overstated, but it is an important part. And then there's the physical side to a goalkeeper. We look at the top level, and goalkeepers are normally taller than the other outfield players. They have a different type of fitness base. They're less aerobic and longer term fitness. It's about being explosive and being able to be quick and jump. So yeah, the attributes for a goalkeeper are wide ranging, but I'd say the psychological part is probably the biggest challenge.
Okay, I might like to come back to that, dig into the psych stuff. So it sounds to me like the danger for a coach is that they can just think all goalkeepers are the same. And we're always told about knowing your players, but I think you're sort of saying this is really important for your goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think the head coach, I mean, it's easy for the goalkeeper coach to say they know their goalkeeper because they're going to be working in a small group. They're going to know their goalkeeper pretty well. But for a head coach, it's really important that they do know their goalkeeper. And then as a coaching group, they have to challenge their goalkeeper. So what is it that makes that goalkeeper tick? What do they need to do that helps the goalkeeper get the best out of themselves? That's really important. And where is the goalkeeper in terms of their physical development, their technical, their tactical development, and then making sure that they challenge them to be better. So definitely really important for head coaches to know their goalkeeper and not say that's someone else's business. Goalkeeper is not my speciality. Is often what we hear from head coaches when really they're part of the team and the head coach needs to know their goalkeeper.
Brilliant, Neil. I reckon we're okay to lock in tip number 1 of supporting your goalkeeper. It seems to me that we need to know our goalkeepers and challenge our goalkeepers based on our knowledge of them. Is that fair?
Yeah, spot on. Know your goalkeeper, what works for them, and where they need to be better, and then challenge them. So when they go into a session, they're not just going through the motions to just tick another session off. There's objectives. There's a purpose to their training.
Yeah, good. Look, I'd like to kind of look at two contexts, I suppose. I suppose there's the context where a team may be lucky enough to have a specialist goalkeeper coach, and then obviously other coaches, including the head coach. And then, like myself and a lot of coaches, it will just be the coach who's working, obviously, with the goalkeeper. So I suppose in that second context, where you may not have a goalkeeper coach, you've made the argument that it's really important to build that relationship and understand. What are some of the ways that a coach can go about doing that?
I think firstly that it's got to come into their planning, because quite often it's the goalkeeper is an afterthought. They get all the other 10 players in the positions and working on an aspect of a session or a game, and then the goalkeeper is the afterthought. So firstly, the head coach has to plan to utilise the goalkeeper. And that could be anything from a team meeting to going, okay, I'm going to make sure that I add value to what the goalkeeper's doing. And as soon as that happens, there's already an improvement in the relationship. So by including the goalkeeper is going to improve the relationship, and there's going to be better outcomes in terms of performance. The other thing is that a lot of the goalkeeping attributes are based around decision-making and perception within match scenarios. Now, even if there is a specialist goalkeeper coach, it's possible that they can't replicate those actions within their practice. Maybe they've only got 4 goalkeepers in there or 3 goalkeepers. So it's important that the head coach can actually take some ownership and design and conduct sessions that are actually going to allow the goalkeeper to develop the skills that they need for match day.
Brilliant. I'm glad you started on match day as well, in terms of involving the goalkeeper in the tactical plan, the team talk, etc. I came out and watched your session today, and I wonder if you can sort of share some of the ways that we can maybe involve goalkeepers in our practices in an authentic way, rather than just thinking we've got to involve them, but actually to benefit the whole team. Could you share some of the things that you do in your practice?
Yeah, so definitely it starts with a conversation between myself and the head coach, what we're looking to achieve in the session. Often there's an element of possession-based football, and then the goalkeeper will have their part to play in that. So the possession or the distribution skills in possession for the goalkeeper are slightly different to the outfield player. They have a slightly different passing range, and the risk versus reward is a massive thing for them. If they make the wrong choice or they don't execute the pass in the right way, there's a turnover in front of goal, and it's going to cost the team. So just that element of being able to put parts of a game into a session that allows the goalkeeper to repeat elements of the game, so they can actually fine tune and hone their decision making skills.
Yeah, something I saw that is really obvious, but I had to be honest and say I don't think I've ever done this. Is you were kind of doing an attack v defence practice.
Yep.
And the practice started with a pass to the goalkeeper's feet, and it's an obvious thing, and everyone listening to this will go, well, that doesn't sound that amazing, but I don't think I'd ever done it once before, so I certainly took that away, Neil.
Yeah.
So also, I suppose there are situations, and again, I'm thinking of a little bit of my context, where the coach may not feel they've got a lot of goalkeeper knowledge. Yep. They may not have been on a goalkeeper-specific course, or maybe they don't feel equipped enough to, or a little bit more nervous to coach a goalkeeper. What's your view on really involving the goalkeeper in the design of practice or the design of their role in tactical plans?
I mean, I think that's excellent. The head coach doesn't really need to be able to provide technical knowledge. And I think that's why a lot of head coaches steer clear of having the conversations with their goalkeepers, because they'd rather give them no knowledge than maybe tell them the wrong thing. But the best way to come at it from a head coach that perhaps doesn't have that technical knowledge is to do it from a team concept. Is what is it you want from your goalkeeper to do when they have possession of the ball? And have, maybe they need to go to get some basic knowledge in terms of where to stand, and some of the shot stopping basics, but really in possession for their team, what is the role of that of the goalkeeper? Now, if it is a team that likes to play possession, You might be looking at different supporting positions. You might be looking at communication. Often the goalkeeper is considered the coach on the pitch. So that conversation that the head coach has with the goalkeeper, yes, can definitely support session design, but it can also support maybe tactical instructions on game day.
Yeah, excellent. I like that idea of them being the voice from the back, the coach on the field. So I reckon we can lock in tip 2. If you're happy with this, Neil, and refine it if I don't get it exactly right. So tip 2 to support your goalkeeper is include your goalkeeper. And that might be ranging from things like include them in the team talks. Make sure they're included and thought of in the practice and practice design. Yeah,
definitely. So include your goalkeeper and add value to your goalkeeper. So make sure that the goalkeeper knows that they're a significant part of the team. And when that happens, you're going to get the best out of your goalkeeper.
Perfect. All right. Okay, now you mentioned psychology really early on when we were looking at the attributes of goalkeepers, and that doesn't surprise me. Obviously, this could be a PhD thesis, but if you could sort of give us an overview of psychology of goalkeepers and the types of things that you value as a goalkeeper coach and you think should be prioritised and considered.
I think a resilience is really important. That there's many opportunities for the goalkeeper to not get things quite right, and when that happens, you need to have that personal attribute that you can bounce back. For example, when we go to identify goalkeepers at national youth championships, one of the top things in terms of our identifiers is how a goalkeeper reacts to a mistake. Because we know the mistakes are going to happen. There's going to be times they don't get it right, but we want to make sure that we select goalkeepers and identify goalkeepers that it doesn't affect their next action. So what happens after a mistake? So that resilience is often born from a confidence, and that confidence is that the goalkeeper believes in their own actions. And if you're going to go on and play at a high level, that's a non-negotiable. That's something they must have.
Yeah, so the resilience, which is sort of seen via when they handle mistakes, and I guess no one likes to accept mistakes, but I guess if a goalkeeper knows that there will be times when they make a mistake and they've got do they have a plan for that? Neil, in your experience, do goalkeepers have a routine, a plan for handling mistakes?
I think some goalkeepers do it naturally well, and that's part of their makeup. Those that need support, then the coach, the goalkeeper coach, or any of the support staff can help them develop a plan. And I know lots of goalkeepers that have gone to play on a high level have had to have some support in developing that. And when something happens, they have a mental routine of how they deal with it, and that allows them to move on to the next action.
What I like about that is we could assume that these are sort of innate things that goalkeepers bring with them, but I think you've made it really clear that some goalkeepers need support in developing that. Yeah. Just like they might need support in a technical aspect.
Definitely, and it's the technique of a goalkeeper is often looked at as the first and the most important element of a goalkeeper's performance. But what we do see is that when we look at goalkeepers at the top level, technically there's a lot of differences, but they're still playing at the top level. One of the things that we notice that the highest standard of goalkeepers have is they all have that mental resilience and that confidence. Without that, it's almost impossible to get to the higher standards of the game.
So that's the common denominator of elite goalkeepers.
100%.
They might have technical differences, physical differences, but that resilience, that handling mistakes is pretty consistent.
Yeah, spot on.
Okay. All right. I'm interested that you talk about how coaches can develop that confidence. Coaches, obviously, we try and do our best, but there are probably times where we might do things that negatively impact on a goalkeeper's confidence. I wonder if you could outline some of those things that you see so that we're aware when we do it and go, I probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, one of my pet hates is when coaches set up practices and the goalkeeper's chance of success is almost zero. So it could be a pattern of play with a finish, but there could be 5 players running into the box unopposed, and the goalkeeper has no chance. They might make save 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 7, and I just watch from the side as a goalkeeper coach. The attitude and the body language of the goalkeeper just sinks. So if the head coaches can give that some game realism and set the practice up that, yes, it's maybe still designed for the strikers to score, but the goalkeeper has an opportunity to make saves and be successful, then you're less likely to be damaging the self-belief of the goalkeeper. An example of that is on match day, that when the team often finishes with a finishing practice, a pattern and finishing practice, normally the starting goalkeeper will stay to the side, because we don't want the last 4 or 5 actions before they start an important game to be picking the ball out of the net.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, look, there's loads there, Neil. But I think if I'm summarising tip 3 for how to support our goalkeeper, it seems to me that confidence is at the heart of that tip 3, and developing and not negatively impacting on goalkeepers' confidence.
Yeah, definitely. Every opportunity a goalkeeper coach or a head coach gets to develop their goalkeeper's confidence is going to be a step towards better performance. And we have a saying in coaching and in goalkeeper coaching especially, that confidence is king. And if a goalkeeper walks onto the park with a belief in themselves, they're already 3/4 of the way there to a successful game.
Outstanding. Look, Neil, thank you so much for your time. Real good insight there, and I've got loads of questions that revolve around, how to save penalties and putting on the water bottles, but we'll leave them for another day. Would you be able to just summarise those 3 tips for us, please?
Yeah, know your goalkeeper, challenge your goalkeeper, number 1. Super important, and it's the start of that relationship between a head coach and a goalkeeper coach and the goalkeeper. Include your goalkeepers, because they need to be part of as many practices with the team as possible to develop the skill sets that they need on match day. And at every opportunity you can, develop their confidence, because it's the biggest mental attribute a goalkeeper can have.
Neil, outstanding. Thank you very much. And I promise you that my goalkeeper this year will have, I'll know them better. I'll think much more about them when I'm designing my sessions and my team talks, and everything I do will look to develop their confidence. So thank you very much, Neil.
Thanks, Gareth.
Thank you for tuning in to the Football New South Wales Community Podcast, where we've been featuring the Extra Time series recorded at the 2024 Football New South Wales Coaching Conference. Tickets are now on sale for the 2025 Club Development Conference, with more details and ticket information at footballnsw.com.au.